Welcome to All Systems Go, real estate training for the real world. Here is your host, Debbie Hammond.
Today's episode, for sale by owners, walkthroughs and walkaways. The dreaded cold call. Dialing a phone number to speak to someone you've never spoken to doesn't rank very high on most salespeople's lists of favorite things to do. I dare say it doesn't rank high on anyone's list, but it's something you really must master if you want to convert those for sale by owners into listings. The good news is, it isn't nearly as difficult or uncomfortable or intimidating as you might think it is, because, like most other things in life, your chances of success increase in direct proportion to how prepared you are. Let's look at some of the tips and techniques I use for calling a for sale by owner prospect. I talk with many for sale by owners. Almost everyone who's listed in my marketplace will get a call from me, and I am continually amazed by how many of the for sale by owners tell me I'm the only salesperson who called. They say they get emails, but no one picks up the phone to call. Isn't that odd? We are in the real estate business, but most of us don't actually want to talk to clients. Consistency. All this means is that you pick a day and a time to make your calls. Let's say Thursday afternoon, 2 to 4 p.m. One day a week is sufficient, but you must commit to sit down for that time and make those calls. Once you get into the habit of doing this, Thursday afternoons will turn into for sale by owner time in no time. Consistency is key for improving your pitch and improving your success rate. This time must be 100% dedicated to the task of contacting FSBOs and nothing else. Confidence. This is without a doubt the most important thing to work on. No one will ever hand over the sale of their home to anyone who does not sound like they're ready, willing, and able to sell it. How do you convey confidence? Be prepared. Simple as that. Start by looking at the MLS and checking out the neighborhood where the for sale by owner lives. Find out if their house was ever listed and for how much. Find out what else has been selling in the area. Do a quick CMA of their home before you phone. That way you're coming at them, showing them you've done your research and are genuinely interested in their property. Remember, they'll be getting tons of emails from other salespeople, but very few phone calls, and even fewer phone calls from someone who sounds knowledgeable and prepared. You'll be looking good before they ever see you. Relationship. You're starting a relationship with the FSBO. So, your first call is not the end, it's the beginning. It's just the first step in what will hopefully become a mutually beneficial relationship. How do you start a relationship? Normally you talk about things you have in common. After you've introduced yourself as a salesperson with your firm, ask them how things are going. Have they had any showings? Have they heard from other salespeople? Make it about them. Give them things to talk back with. That can be as simple as a shared event, like the weather. You lived through the storm, I see. What did you think of the thunder last night? Small talk, the same way you talk to someone you met anywhere else. In this wonderful social media world we live in, it's ever so easy to get to know people long before you ever meet them. You can check them out on Facebook and find out all kinds of neat things, but not to the point where they get uncomfortable, because that'd just be weird. Walkthrough. This is the aim of the first call. You ask if you can walk through their home. You want to do that because you like to keep a list of homes that are on the market in your area. That makes you sound professional and cutting edge. Most people will be happy to let you in. It's not costing them anything, and they're getting a free consultation with a pro. Once you set up a time for the walkthrough, show up prepared and take the next step in your relationship. While you are starting to build up that ever so critical relationship, let's not forget the main goal here is to get the listing. So always be ready to sign it up right then and there. Yes, it can happen. It happened to me last week. I went in to do a walkthrough and left 45 minutes later with another lovely new listing. No-nos. Never, ever tell them you have a buyer just to get their business. This ultimately makes you look bad and desperate, especially if you don't have a buyer. Now, if they tell you they have a family member or a good friend in the business, let them go. Concentrate on those without any ties. Now, I want to set a little challenge for you. This week, I want you to take pictures of all the for sale by owner signs you see in your travels. Set yourself up on any classified sites that offer FSBOs so you can get notified of all the new ones. Next week, set up a day and a time to call those numbers. Commit to that time. Schedule it in and stick to it. Research the neighborhood so you have a clear idea of what the home is worth. Do your quick CMA. Call them. Ask them how things are going. Ask them about showings and other salespeople. Ask them if you can walk through their home. And if you take these steps, you'll be taking steps into the bank in no time. What we'll talk about next is how you can continue to build and foster the relationships your phone calls began. To have success with FSBOs, you need a wicked stay in touch program. Mine works awesome. And in my next podcast, I'll share my program with you. Developing relationships is fun and actually really easy. It leads to a high conversion rate and referrals. Do you want the business or not? It's your call. That's it for this episode. Thanks for listening. Make sure you subscribe to get future podcasts. Talk to you soon.
You've been listening to Debbie Hanlon's All Systems Go. Recorded in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. Produced by Jerry Stamp.